Hey everyone, we have another word from our sponsor from Liquid IV. So if you'll give me a minute, we'll start the show soon. It's cold and flu season, if you haven't noticed. A lot of my friends and family are getting sick, so it's really smart to stay hydrated with Liquid IV. Just rip the convenient packet, add water, and stay hydrated. My favorite flavor is watermelon because it tastes really good and it's not as sweet as the other sports drinks I've had. Liquid IV contains 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. All that probably help with not getting sick, at least. Not to underestimate the 3 times the electrolytes of other leading sports drinks. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code NERDBS, all lowercase, and one word. At checkout, that's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code NERDBS at liquidiv.com. Now, thank you for listening, and we'll go to this show. Yo, welcome to another episode of Nerd BS. It is episode 6 of season 3. I'm Alan. It is, man, I'm just rambling. March 26th or some odd number in the year of our Lord 2024. And we have, I'm going to just say that every episode now. This is it. This is the year. This is the year of our Lord. I am joined by a couple other nerds that have been on here a couple times. Tomas is back.
What's up?
Yeah, there you go. He's just jumping in there. And
just going to jump right in.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Welcome
glad
back,
to have you. We almost replaced you. I mean, we got a good guy. He's on the back burner. He's ready to jump in.
You almost replaced Kyle?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, wow.
I haven't talked to him about it yet. But anyways. Yeah, well, you guys have done anything exciting before I take the floor? Because I'm going to take the floor. I did something exciting this week.
I've been playing Rise of the Ronin, which just came out. So
what is that? I don't know. It's like a PS5 game, right?
Yeah.
Samurais and ninja swords and
it's Team
Samurai.
It's Team Ninja's new video game. It's definitely interesting. They tried to go the open world route. I think they're trying to do the Elden Ring thing. You can definitely see it's their first time at an open world.
That's terrible.
No.
What was their other games that they made?
Neo.
Oh, okay,
Neo
yeah, okay.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that, Ninja Gaiden. I don't know how you said it.
Is it Gaiden or Gaiden?
I could never remember how you said it.
You were a fan.
It's Gaiden.
It's Gaiden, okay.
All right, good job. Kyle for the save.
I just remember it because it's the ninjas aren't gay. That's how I remember it.
So
Yes.
So the one thing about Rise of the Ronin, though, that is a little frustrating that me and my friend Brian found out was that when we're playing, so it's co-op, sort of. The only way it's co-op is when you're doing a mission. You can't run around in the world together. You can only do missions together. So it's kind of a disappointment because after Neo and Wu Long, which were both just completely, you could run around with your friend, but it wasn't open world. So I almost feel like Rise of the Ronin was like, hey, we're going to do an open world solo player. And then somebody in and the company was like, actually, it should probably be multiplayer because all our other big games are multiplayer.
Oh yeah, like they
Right.
squeezed it in.
Yeah,
That checks.
The screenshots look
it's
fantastic.
fun. It is
I know
fun.
nothing about it.
It is-
I think the only thing I've seen is the case art because you posted that.
Yeah, it is fun. It's just kind of disappointing that this is how when you have such better examples of co-op and open world, and it's like, oh, this is the co-op and open world, you should have just made this single player. It would actually be more entertaining if it was single player and I wasn't in the back of my mind going, oh, I wish I could do this with Bri. Like, you know, like,
Well, yeah. That's interesting. I mean, didn't EA say that single player games were dead? I mean, that was like 5, 10, 15 years ago. Who knows? But
who knows?
obviously that wasn't the case.
Hey,
Yeah.
you don't forget, huh?
I never forget. That's
Alan-
what I always say. That's my slogan.
Alan keeps those grudges, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle? Anything fun this last 2 weeks?
I need to play Ghost of Tsushima, and I thought I had it. Like I thought
The other samurai ninja sword game.
Yeah,
Which I would
And,
say is more beautiful but less realistic, believe it or not, than the new Rise of the Ronin.
interesting.
Oh, so
Oh.
that game's not as realistic as yours.
It's just that Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful, but it's almost too beautiful. Like everything is just vibrant
Take the
colors.
beauty out of
and-
my game. I want to see
No.
grim,
Well,
dark
I mean,
realism.
Like there's no ghettos or anything in Tsushima, which is
Yeah.
like, Rise of the
Cut 'em
Ronin.
out.
You can run through. Anyways, go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
You tell him, Kyle.
Yeah, so I'm behind. I thought I owned that game through
Sassy.
one of the whatever the PlayStation games they give you every month. I thought they
Mhm.
gave it to us.
I almost forgot to
Yeah,
go.
I actually thought they did
But
download
it's-
it.
They
I thought they
gave
did
us
too.
like a
Didn't they?
multiplayer version.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Oh.
bullshit because I
Yeah.
remember texting Brian about it or someone, and I was like, "Hey, I got this game." He's like, "Yeah, that's the multiplayer version." I'm like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Which is
And I moved
cool.
on with my life. Oh, is it? Okay.
It's fun, but it made me want to just play the single player, and
Yeah, it's the
then I had to
gold,
go find it, and that was the
Okay.
whole thing. Because it's kind of expensive still. Like it's not
yeah?
a budget. Yeah, it's not cheap even on eBay.
Oh wow.
And well, I mean, like I thought it'd be like $20, right? It's not just $20. It's like 40,
Mhm.
50 minimum.
Wow.
So I finally got that and installed it, and it's just sitting there waiting next to Spider-Man 2 and Helldivers, which I actually played. But we talked about that last time.
Yeah, and
So-
yeah, apparently Tomas was playing with me, and then apparently he became a samurai
Yeah,
with a
I-
ninja sword, and he's been
Oh
gone.
man, how
you
cool
could
would that
always-
be in that game? Give
you
me
could
a
always-
samurai sword.
you could always send me a message if you want, and I'll hop over.
I haven't turned it on. I turned it on. Last time I
Oh.
turned it on was with I think Kyle. I think Kyle messaged me or I messaged him. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was fun. We got a whole crew. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a blast. Hank joined us from the Discord. It was fun.
Nice.
We had a
Oh, yeah,
great.
my buddy Alex came in too.
And then Alex, yeah, which I thought was a random for a bit, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And my son was crying in the living room because
Yeah.
we didn't
Oh, yeah.
let him
Just
in.
tried.
Yeah, there's no other
Yeah.
games to play. Yeah.
Nope, he was just like, "I guess I'll just go to bed." Is what he said. No, he did his
I'm
own thing.
sure.
He was fine. But I started a Star Wars marathon, and I need to go finish it. We got through.
Oh, yeah. How'd that
Yeah,
go?
we got. So I watched. So buddy Brian. I hope he's feeling better, which I think he is because he messaged on me on Discord about D&D's stuff. But he got sick, and we were supposed to do like an in-person little family game that, and he was part of that. And he got sick, so we decided to start watching some Star Wars to get early on because we were like trying to figure out how we could do it anyways.
Mhm.
So watched Solo and Rogue One that day, which I think both of those movies are underrated. I think Solo has a lot of potential. It's really fun, and I think Rogue One also is a great
I
film.
thought people love Rogue One though.
Yeah, I
People-
liked Rogue
so
One.
Rogue One has a it's a mixed bag. It seems like you either love it or hate it. So there's a lot of people who
No, I've never
find
heard
it
of
boring.
I haven't seen
Mm.
one that hates it. It's
Oh,
like the one
Yeah.
that people Even people that hate Star Wars seem to rally around.
Well, I hate it.
I don't know.
so.
It depends on who you talk to.
No,
I've seen both. Because I see a lot of people claim it's boring.
You guys are in against a great mood tonight.
Apparently.
No, I like it.
So then the next day we went over to my other sister-in-law's house, and we started the rest of them, where we started the prequels because my brother-in-law wanted to watch the prequels. So we started the prequels, and we got all the way up to Empire before it was
nice.
like 6 something,
Yeah.
and we were like, let's just call it here. And so we need to finish the rest of them because I really want to watch the sequel trilogy again. So just to see if anything changes, because I still haven't watched Rise of Skywalker.
Just be confused again at the end.
Yeah,
I hate. So here's the thing. First of all, apparently Bad Batch is trying to pull a Clone Wars on the sequel trilogy, and what I mean by that is the prequels. Love them or hate them, you got to realize that there's a lot of things missing in those movies and a lot of confusion. At least there's a beginning, middle, and end, but there's a lot of weird stuff sprinkled about. But the Clone Wars movie series kind of saved those movies by expanding a lot of those characters and storylines and stuff like that, which really made the Clone Wars and the prequels much better. Bad Batch is trying to do that right now for the sequel trilogy, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we'll see what happens.
I don't know if you can save the return of Palpatine again.
So Rise of Skywalker is I would say the worst Star Wars film. My personal opinion. I can't think of one that's worse than it. And I know other people. I mean, it's prettier than some of them, but I don't.
Sure.
But that's about it.
Some moments, but I was so confused watching that.
I was so bored.
I was angry.
Bored.
I was physically angry in the theater, and I was ready. Like, I remember the movie ended, and I was just like, I think I'm done right now. I don't want to watch this again. I have no interest in any of this. This kind of stomped on all my hopes of what the future could entail, and like I've obviously gone back since then. I really like Star Wars, but that movie was just I still haven't watched it again. I need to watch it a second time. Maybe something will change.
Gotcha.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Last Jedi defender, so I defend that movie a lot, and that movie still pissed me off. That
one's the worst in my opinion.
Last Jedi?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I disagree. But we're not here to talk about Star Wars.
I was bored with that one. At least the Rise of Skywalker, there was explosions happening. So,
I you know what? I want to sit here and just defend Last Jedi again because I've done it multiple times with multiple people, and I could pull up my document right here. Never mind. We are going to move on.
You win. I'm changed.
Thank you. I'm glad that
I'm never
we have come to
watch
the conclusion that The Last Jedi is one of the best Star Wars movies. All right, let's move on, and we will head over to the other things. You know what? This little chat thing is screwing my head up. I can't do two things at once, so I'm just gonna. That's a little behind the fourth wall thing. But we all watched. There's a couple things that came out recently. One of them a little older than the other, and I think I put in the notes the newer one, which is the Xmen. We've talked about Marvel quite a bit on this show. Don't you? What are you ooming me?
Oh, he did the sound.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? I thought I was getting booed at. Like,
boo this man.
You. But some of us watched it. Some of us are true X-Men fans and actually watched it. Some other ones, they decided not to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But
those people were.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. It'll be forever a mystery.
It's a shame.
We got two episodes to start. It's starting right after, a little bit after Professor X was killed, and I know it's a big thing, and he was killed in the last series or the older series. And so now the X-Men are kind of, picking up the pieces. Cyclops is in the leadership. And
I don't want to completely nerd out here or anything. But wasn't Professor Xavier actually taken to Shihar, where their magic and advanced medical science could save his life? And he tells his X-Men that he just can't return to Earth, but he will always be there in spirit. I believe that's actually how it.
Yeah, he came back and got shot.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So you're not wrong.
you just were leading to the part I was talking about, which is he got shot.
I just I was getting that.
You got to give him points. You got to give him some points for the X-Men.
I appreciate it. I won't say. I mean, I know some of that, but I don't remember a lot of the previous season. It's been a while since I watched it, or the series. It's been a while since I watched it.
I did watch it recently with my fiance.
Yeah, well, I did it because I didn't want to.
Well, some of us are true X-Men fans. So I mean,
part of me, I just didn't have time. Like, that's a big part, but I didn't either. The other part was, I also just wanted to go into the new show without, having that nostalgia attached to it, because I know going in, the voices are going to be different, the animation's going to be different, so I just didn't want it to be that jarring going into the new one. I mean, the main reason is I just didn't have time to watch the old one again, but I think it kind of worked out watching the new one that way. I wonder what you will, your take on it is, Tomas, since you just watched it in its entirety. So when you watch the new one, I'm curious
about that. Yeah, I was thinking about trying to check it out afterwards, but I don't know. It's like you said, there's a lot. That takes a lot of time.
It's a big show.
And I kind of feel like I'm gonna figure it out. I know a lot about X-Men lore and stuff, so I'm sure I'll figure it out if something happens. I'm like, oh, okay, or I can look it up if I really get confused.
I
almost guarantee Professor X will come back in some facet.
Oh, he's coming.
Who knows?
Back. Yeah, keep talking about him.
We'll see. Yeah, but anyways, so
before we go on, there are spoilers. I don't know if you said that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be spoiling it up. So if you haven't watched it, pause, go watch it. It's like 2 episodes. I think that they're roughly 30 minutes each, hour of your time. Well worth it if you're concerned about that.
Yeah,
but we got Magneto. He came back and he's got the will of Professor X that he technically owns all of Professor X's fortune and the mansion and the school. So he's in charge.
Like, yeah, that was a pretty big moment, I guess, for the show where he just shows up and like, by the way, you guys belong to me, and he does that. He does it all sinister.
He does kind of do it that, so he definitely doesn't get any points going in his direction for not acting a little bit sinister about it. Yeah, he's also got a new outfit too, which is an older comic book outfit that is supposed to be reminiscent of a similar storyline, if not the same storyline in the comics.
Is it the House of M?
I don't remember exactly, but
and let me guess though. Good Boy Scout Scott was like, "F you, Magneto, get off my property!" Right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody tried. I mean, nobody was really like, on Magneto's side at first. It took a hot minute.
So the leader of the X-Men's actually a stooge for Magneto. So
what?
Actually, what?
Scott's just
talking
a
about?
stooge.
Well, technically, sir, if you would have watched the show towards the end of the second episode, Scott and Jean they've left. They've left to raise little Nathan.
In process of leaving, basically.
Yeah, in process. Yeah. After Oro loses her powers.
That's always the sign of a good leader. Things start getting tough, and he walks right out.
I mean, he was already planning on leaving, but that's beyond the point. You hate Cyclops. And I don't know why.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like Cyclops, but no, I'm just giving you.
why.
I'm just joking around with you.
He's kind of a hard ass, especially in the comics. But at the same time, he does seem to do a lot of really smart things.
He's trying to keep people alive.
Yeah, he's got a really tough job, and he doesn't have the telepathy like Professor X to lean on.
Yeah, doesn't know everyone's emotional state.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out.
And background, like entire history and background of everybody. Like, yeah, he doesn't have that.
Yeah, well, they are in process of leaving, but then So Jean Grey shows back up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the storyline. Kyle, do you remember who the shapeshifter that is pretending to be?
Just went straight to the end of episode 2.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm just jumping all over the place.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't it Morph?
No, that would be hilarious, but it's
Morph
not
is
Morph.
back.
He's there. Yes, he's there.
Okay.
What? I missed your question, Alan. What?
I really want it to be Morph now. That'd be awesome. That would be such a weird FU to Cyclops. Like, how long had he been doing that?
All right, but what was the question?
Anyways, I was wondering who the character is that is in the comics that has done this before. Who is Nathan's real mother? It's not Jean Grey.
Isn't it the Black Queen?
I think so. It's like the Black Queen or something like that.
That's like her villain name.
Who's the Black Queen? I don't even know who that is.
It's a whole thing. Well, so we don't know in the show yet. Technically,
we don't know yet. In the show, we don't know.
Oh, sorry,
yeah, exactly.
Not Black Queen. Goblin Queen.
Goblin Queen.
Goblin Queen. That's who.
Yeah, but we don't know yet. But that was at the end of last episode.
He literally jumped to the end of the episode.
Yeah, there was a lot in between, like something about Magneto getting arrested, which was fun.
Yeah, and he went on trial. So
yeah, they had that January 6th like callback where they were like trying to. I got that vibe from that.
Yeah, that was kind of lame, in my opinion. That whole thing
I liked it because it's all been X-Men's always been kind of like a into that stuff, mirroring our reality. So I think it played really well.
I suppose, and they added Executioner into it.
Yep, they did. He was in there.
Well, apparently, he could just beat up Cyclops, so you'll probably like him.
Yeah, he's probably your favorite now.
I think he's my new favorite. Yeah,
he punked Cyclops pretty badly,
and then he tried to shoot Magneto, but then Oro jumped in the way, which makes her lose her powers.
Yeah, you're just going all over the place, dude. You're like starting at the end and going backwards. This is wild.
You should have watched it, I guess. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
You went to the very end.
Yeah, I'll go backwards. This is how we do it, right?
I've never done it this way. I am so lost.
We're moonwalking, guys.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Storm lost her powers. So she leaves. Okay, she leaves at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Wait, why did she lose her powers? Because she got shot?
She got shot by like a heavy radioactive bullet. That's what Beast says. It's like, well, laser. It's always a laser. But
lasers.
Yeah, so it's basically the same type of technology that's in the collars, but it's like magnified. So
yeah,
this dude can just shoot that?
But he had a gun that could.
He had one bullet apparently, or
he only
one
has
laser. One laser, I guess. And Gambit has a new croc top too. That was like at the beginning of the show. Does that help?
Croc top?
Crop.
He's got like crop top.
Crop
top.
So he cut his hair?
No. He has like a half shirt.
No, it's just a short shirt that people used to wear in the 90s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's got a short shirt. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that was necessary to say.
Okay, that was a huge spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah, he shows off his abs.
And we're going back to the beginning now. So here, I'll just say this since we're just kind of we're not following
Sorry.
any kind of storyline.
Maybe Kyle, give us the rundown of the actual storyline from front to back instead of back
Well,
to
you can
front.
watch it yourself, but go ahead, Kyle. Just watch
Yeah,
it.
but anybody listening, even
Yeah,
if
it's
they've seen
not
it, it's
just
all
me.
over. Like it's all over the place here. Magneto comes back, reads the will and testament, and says he owns everything. So then he tries to be good and tries to gain trust by doing superhero things, like real superhero things, by saving people. Then he intentionally gets captured and goes on trial to prove his innocence. And then a bunch of people storm the Capitol or whatever while they're having the trial. The bullet that shot Storm, or the laser that shot Storm, was aimed at Magneto. They wanted to take Magneto because they were mad at everybody, right? So it was humans attacking the Capitol. They were mad at the people that put him on trial for even giving him a trial. He should have been locked up or killed, is what the people Executioner felt. So then Magneto takes everybody into outer space, touches Executioner, and just tells them, "I want to be good. You got to give me a chance." Blah 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 blah. And they go, "Oh, maybe we were all wrong." And and then Storm leaves because she lost her powers permanently. And I'll add this: Wolverine sounds weird.
So I was actually going to talk about that. I didn't feel that he actually sounded that bad, to be honest. I
didn't say bad. I didn't say bad. I said weird.
I didn't think he sounded that weird because I remember when we first saw the trailer, I think I mentioned that he sounded weird in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he did, but I feel like maybe it's the show does such a good job with it that after it didn't take long to get used to the new sound because it is most of the same actors.
Right.
It's just that his voice they're much older. Yeah.
20 years older.
Yeah. If they had done the show all the way from then to now, we probably wouldn't even noticed it. But now since we're jumping to this point, it's going to be way different.
You think they're the Simpsons? You think they could be living off 20 plus years of animated TV?
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's dream.
That'd be cool. So Wolverine sounded weird. The animation is better overall. However,
I think so too. I like it.
It's just cleaner, but it's almost too perfect. So you're not getting those like those human hand imperfections.
Yeah.
You get from the 90s
Definitely
cartoons.
a CG for sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. And like, kind of like The Simpsons, going back to that, like the early first 10 seasons where it's like hand drawn and you see those weird imperfections when they do weird stuff. It's great. It gave them personality. And then they switched to CGI, and so they don't make those mistakes anymore. That is lost a little bit. Not really a complaint, just kind of like, all right.
Just a notice. You noticed it. Yeah.
And then the last thing is when they're talking, their mouths move like robotically to me. That was just like, I'm not saying that's better or worse.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it just seemed computer animated.
I guess I didn't see those those imperfections, I guess, but I didn't have any issues.
But overall the animation is very clean. The intro is pretty cool. They clean up the intro, which was nice.
Took out Warpath, which was interesting. I'm curious why they did that. He was in the Brotherhood, the original one. So I mean, he's not really he's an X-Men anyway. He's not a Brotherhood. But
did he die or something, Tomas? Do you remember?
I
don't even remember.
Man, Warpath.
I think he's barely in the show.
Colossus.
I feel like
I don't feel like he's in it.
No, he was in
much.
there. You didn't like Colossus? He shows up. I mean, Morph turns into him. Morph turns into him.
No, yeah.
In the intro. I'm talking about the intro.
No, not the intro. Yeah.
They took him out because he was in the original intro. And Juggernaut.
Yeah, he was.
Juggernaut was in the new intro as well. I know that.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, I don't know about Colossus, but I do know that Morph transforms into Colossus and to Blob and to Psylocke. There's more.
He's really busy, I guess.
Yeah, he's really using an Angel too.
He doesn't really do much else though.
Yeah, it is really cool because whenever he transforms, he seems to be able to use their powers, which is interesting.
Isn't that his power is to morph?
Well, I didn't know he could actually use the powers of people. I thought he was just kind of. I always thought that Morph, and I don't really know a lot about Morph.
I thought that's
to be
what
honest.
made him different from Mystique, though. Was I thought he gained their abilities too.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought he didn't. That's what. Like I thought. I don't know. I don't remember him very much from the animated series.
True. I don't really remember him that much, but
he dies like episode 1, right?
Yeah. Well, he comes back later.
Yeah. He got better.
He got.
Yeah, it's like a whole storyline, right?
Yeah. Like Wolverine, like.
But does he do much after that? Because I know he came back, but I don't know if he really did anything.
I honestly don't think he does much after.
Yeah, because I know, because we were talking about before, we were kind of like talking, because I know you were talking about Colossus, and I was talking about Nightcrawler, and then like looking through the things I think we were discussing in the Discord, I was like, oh shit, these people are like in like 3, Nightcrawler's in like 3 episodes, I think.
No.
And then Colossus in like 2.
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. They're not in there very often.
I remember Colossus in more than 2, and I definitely remember Nightcrawler more than... What? Nope. Didn't Nightcrawler have like a whole backstory?
He did. That was the only time he was in the show, was the little mini arc. Where the whole, I think it was 3 episodes long.
Really? That's the only time he was in it?
Yeah. According to Marvel's website, when I was looking it up, yeah, if you look up the animated series wiki or Marvel animated series, he is in 3 episodes: Nightcrawler, The Lotus and the Steel, and Bloodlines.
Yeah, they're doing those characters dirty, I feel like.
Yeah, I felt like there was
and
more
Colossus,
of them.
I remember because we were discussing it and we were wondering why they chose Bishop. We are discussing why they would choose Bishop over Colossus. And Bishop's in like 8 or 9
Bishop's
episodes.
in a lot of them.
But Colossus is in 2.
Well, you know what? You know what we could have done? We could have gotten rid of Cyclops and put in Colossus and Nightcrawler. All right,
yeah, Cyclops. The person in the middle of the intro sequence.
No one
he is the X-Man.
That just shoots lasers out of his eyes. Woo.
Oh my god! That's what makes him so.
By the way, he can jump out of a plane now and land safely.
Oh, that was really cool. I don't care. He was using his laser beams like a boss, and I loved every minute.
Like a boss.
Yeah, like a boss. He really was.
I loved how he was. Yeah, they get like this airplane, this wreck, and the Blue Jay.
You mean Blackbird?
I always want to call it the Blue Jay because it's blue. I never understood.
It's all right. Some of us X-Men fans know that.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the Bluebird, and I'm going to stick with it. But anyways, so he jumps. Yeah, because you must be a huge X-Men fan since you hate Cyclops, the X-Men.
Hey man.
Anyways,
no, Professor X is the X-Man. Okay.
Technically, there is a character called the X-Men, but we're not gonna go
there. There is actually. You're right. That's pretty deep. That's deep lore, though.
That's a deep cut.
But they get in this accident, and Rogue and Storm are like saving people, and Cyclops is just like no, and he just kind of just dives all the way down and shoots his laser beam, slows him down, and lands, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah, it does look cool, but it's like that's crazy. But
yeah,
and then when he's fighting, he starts like skirting around with his laser, like it pushes him.
Yeah, he does this cool thing now where he's like shooting to use it to move around, to move faster. It's really interesting.
So yeah, that was pretty cool, I have to admit.
Yeah. So Cyclops, he stole the show for the most part.
I know.
He was actually in it quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Him,
well,
it was. Yeah,
it's clearly their story arc to begin with the baby and everything. So.
He was struggling for very much with Professor X, probably more than everybody else, because he was also like trying to fill in his shoes and everything. So it made sense.
Well, and him and Scott and Professor X were, I won't deny, they were close throughout the whole thing. So.
Yeah, because he's one of the originals. Yeah,
and then he was hurt because in the will, Professor X didn't give him the X-Men. So he was kind of hurt by that and confused. So he was struggling with that, and they were going to leave. And then basically the Goblin Queen, who looks like Jean Grey, shows up at the end. And that's it. And that's where we're at in the first 2 episodes. So I guess there was quite a bit, Alan. I guess you're right.
Yeah, and Jubilee did dance moves with her fireworks, so that was cool.
I forgot she was even there, dude.
Yeah,
I forgot.
She was actually in there quite a bit in the first episode.
Yeah,
because she was like the connection to the preppy kid who had powers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is a whole sub story. I think that's just more like a bit of new world building and just By the way, they still care about mutants. It's not just all about them right now.
I know it's only 2 episodes in, but they kind of that first episode story did not go anywhere.
Didn't really, no. But I think it went. I would think it went where it needed to go.
Right.
So he may come back later.
Yeah, that's what it's probably set up for later.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
But it was fun. So I don't know what's a good thing to end on. What maybe your favorite moment or maybe your favorite character.
I'll end with this. You had mentioned in the Discord that they're targeting it towards adults, and yeah, I'm not going to argue that. The other thing is the toy line that they released is.
I didn't even realize they rated a toy line. Interesting.
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, just be careful when you go to Walmart next time because they got them there. And I actually found a couple at Ross for like $5. I found a Wolverine and I found Phoenix. And I was like, dude, because they're usually over 20 per
are they doing
figure.
The retro toys? Because I know Ninja Turtles has been doing that recently. They've been coming with a lot of retro toys.
I bought all those too. So I did that, and then I was like, all right, you know what? And I sold them all, and I was like, I don't need it. It's fine. But then they released the second line, which has Nightcrawler and Gambit and Magneto. I'm like, oh. So I, while I was, on painkillers over last weekend.
It's usually when you make poor decisions.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of action figures that are in the mail. So
I can't.
They know what they're doing with that at least.
Yeah, I can't dock you. And there's a lot of people collecting toys right now. I mean, I'm in the Ninja Turtles community quite a bit, and it's huge. Like it makes me want to get on board, but I haven't done it yet. Yeah,
I got more turtles too in the mix. So I didn't just do X-Men. I got Turtles. I got Spider-Man. I got Venom. I was like,
I'm just spending money on pieces of cardboard. So that's all I've been doing. I've been spending a lot of money on pieces of cardboard. Got to have that cardboard. Some of it's shiny. So, I mean, I got that. So,
refractor,
cool. Anyways, I actually really like what they did with Cyclops. And that's not even just because Tomas is making a big deal about it, but I just, at the same time, that is a character sometimes I feel gets a lot of hate for some. I don't know why he gets so much hate.
It's because
I always feel like he gets so much hate. Because Leo used to get hate too, but I don't see it as much anymore.
It's always the leaders, man. Because everyone wants to be a rebel.
Yeah, the rebels get all the love, the Gambits, the Wolverines.
Yeah.
Well, Wolverine is my favorite character overall in the X-Men. I've always been a fan of Wolverine, so I feel you there. But yeah. I feel like not a lot of other characters have got a lot of limelight yet, which is fine because, like you just said, Kyle, it's not really their story as much right now.
Right.
So they're really just more in the background. Like they are having little lines and things like that and being involved, but for the most part, it's not their story.
Right. 2 episodes in, there's
we're early.
So much.
And they will probably, and I'm sure Wolverine's gonna get some solo stories by himself. I'm sure some of these characters, Oros, I'm sure gonna get a story coming back. And I feel like this season it's gonna be really like getting to know these X-Men. And then I almost guarantee they're not gonna just ignore all the other X-Men, because like you just said, the Nightcrawler is in the second series of stuff. Morph's been transforming into other characters. Like they're teasing if this goes on, they're gonna be adding more characters. And so it'll be fun to see. I hope they do it. I don't know if I would say better because the other one did really good on bringing back characters because there's just so many X-Men. Yeah. So you can't have them all in there all the time. It'll just get because that's one thing about like the comics is the same way. It's like there's so many X-Men, so you can only focus on. That's why they get their own own series and stuff. But I don't know if we're gonna get that far. Either way, any last words before we move on and go out to space? Kind of.
Don't look into the toys if you want to save money.
Smart. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'll post pictures to get you all into it.
Good. You post pictures. I do like the pictures. I do like seeing the Ninja Turtles toys. I got one for Christmas, and that's the only one I have, and that's one of the Transformy ones. So I think those are fun.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah,
I resold those. Those sold quick, man. I didn't realize.
Yeah, they're really cool. I just kind of use it as a little fidget toy sometimes.
Nice.
It's just fun to just transform and move around when I'm just sitting around.
Yeah, that's smart.
But anyways, so some of us also saw Dune Part 2. I think the other one is planning on seeing it maybe someday.
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna wait for streaming at this point.
You know what? That was me and so first of all, let me start by saying I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. It was just as good as the first one. I don't know if it was better or worse. I think it was just solid. And I feel like it ended really well, and I really enjoyed it. We are going to do some spoilers as well, so I will leave that here. I'm not going to do spoilers right away, but just throwing it out before we start. I feel like me and Tomas were talking about earlier. I don't feel it was too long. I love the pacing. I am at the point where I feel it was too long for theaters because I would rather have watched it home. There was many times where I kind of wish I could have paused it just to stretch, go walk around for a minute, go to the bathroom, get a snack, and then come back to the movie, with just a little bit of, distance, just enough. I know you can get immersed and that's great, but 3 hours is a long time to just sit there focusing on a screen.
Is it 3? The first
it's 3 hours. The first one was also 3 hours, wasn't it?
No, 2.5.
2.5. This one's 3.
I thought it was 2, I thought it was more than 2.5. I thought it was like 2.
I think the first one was close to 2.5.
It's 2.35.
2.35.
I'm looking at it right now, yeah. And so this one's 3, like full 3.
This one is. I'll look up the length. 2 hours and 46 minutes. So I guess it's not exactly 3 hours. But then when you just small tangent for a little bit, and I'm gonna go right here that I was really angry about. 30 minutes of trailers. Are we getting a little annoyed? I'm getting a little annoyed here. I'm going to see a 2 hour and 45-minute movie, and you're going to give me 30 minutes of trailers? Are you serious?
I was going to mention that. Like,
oh my God.
You're not just in the theater for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
No.
It's close to 3.5, 4 hours. You're just in the theater.
I finished. Me and my wife got a large popcorn to share and drinks. I was done with my popcorn and my drinks before the movie started.
Oh, I was like, that makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because now I got to go refill.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm sitting through that 2.5 hours without a drink. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I just started drinking my wife's tea, to be honest. We were going through it because she doesn't drink as much as I do. But it was just like, oh my goodness. I'm frustrated about that. That made me really angry. Maybe that was part of the problem. Maybe that was part of the problem with the man.
A little side note, I was looking up runtimes here while we're talking, and there is a when to pee during Dune 2 breakdown for you, so you could go in prepared.
As long as I'm not having a beer or anything, I don't usually have issues with having to go to the bathroom. That's usually pretty rare, fortunately.
But you had tea, right? That's almost
I started with the sparkly water. I didn't have the tea until later. I was just drinking sparkly water, and then it wasn't until we started going towards the latter half of the movie, and I was like, I'm really thirsty.
I think we've talked about this before. If the movie is over 2 hours, they need to have an intermission. They really do.
Yes, I would love that.
And this is the old man talking.
Take off 15 minutes of those trailers. And then give us the little 10 to 15 minute break in the middle of the movie. I'll take that. Put on more trailers then. How about that? Pause it, put some trailers on if people want to sit there. And then I'm going to go get some popcorn.
Just 5 minutes, dude. I don't care about the flow of the movie because I'm going to have to leave.
5 minutes wouldn't be enough time though, because you realize if you do that, then everyone's going to go.
Going at the same time.
But the bathrooms are huge. Every bathroom.
No, but for popcorn.
Oh, you're refilling? Well, that's on you. Okay.
They'd have to, but no, it's on the theater because they would have to hire more employees to fill out their.
No, you wouldn't. You have to develop an app. so you know it's coming. You hit
That is
the app.
true. I will
before
say
the movie
Disneyland
starts.
does the apps now, and it's actually super convenient when
Like,
you're walking around to
you know
just
what?
order your food or whatever on the phone and just pick it up.
Yeah, if
Goes
you're
much
watching,
faster.
if I'm gonna watch a movie 3 hours, give me something on your app that says, "Hey, do you gonna want more popcorn at intermission?" Yes, I will. And if you don't, then you hit decline when it happens.
Yep.
See, problem solved.
I can guarantee that 5 minutes would be done.
Anyway, a simple solution to this is just release it the same day for renting. I'll pay $30 to watch it at home. I don't mind.
They did that
And
with the
that's
other one.
I
They
don't
did that with
know.
the other one.
I don't know if I'd pay $30 though to rent it at home, because at that point, I just feel like
I'm not.
that's too much money to watch it at home, man.
Dude,
Like,
you're already spending that at the theater.
I know, because I'm going to the theater.
You get
Like,
that
I'm
experience.
going. Yeah, like I
I
don't get
don't
that.
need to have that.
I don't-
I just want to
I
watch
don't
the
get-
movie.
I don't get that surround sound with the big screen at home, and that's what you're
Overrated.
paying for when you go to the theater. But I'm saying that's what you're paying for when you go to the theater. So don't
it's
try
overrated.
to make me pay for that.
Well,
at
that's why
home.
but this is the thing though. That's why you have both. Okay, that's why you have both. That's it. You can go to the theater, but I paid $30 for like Black Widow and stuff, and I was completely fine with that, because not only did I watch it, but I also watched it because you have it for like 48 hours. I watched it with myself. I watched it with some other family members and some friends, and I feel like we got plenty of the money's worth. I mean,
We know your stance, Alan. We hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I enjoy
Okay.
going to the movies. I would not pay $30 to watch it.
And I'm not arguing. I'm not
I
arguing.
thought we
your stance.
didn't you guys pay $30? But because that's how much they were on Disney when they were coming out.
No, I
It was
paid
$30.
for-
I know Black Widow was that way. That was the only one I remember, but there was other ones at the same time that were the same price.
I thought I used
When it was
your
during
account.
COVID.
I'm pretty sure I just used your account.
You
for
probably used
Black Widow.
mine because I was telling people to use my account because I'd bought it because I wanted to watch it.
Which they're cracking down on now, so they're just going further away from it. They're not going to, and it's made quite a bit in the box office.
Either way,
they're never going to do that. Not for this kind of movie.
Yeah. Either way, I would still prefer it because it's just more convenient.
I hear you. I would have preferred it right now because I didn't get to see it yet. I would have watched it at home.
Yeah.
I would just borrowed your account.
And I live pretty far away from the theater, so it is a trek usually to get to the theater. That's kind of my own thing, but still. Either way, I didn't feel like going to see the movie theater was really worth it, but it was fine. That didn't really enhance the experience is what I was getting at. There we go. I still enjoyed it a lot, though. Went back to the movie itself. What about you, Tomas? How much did you like it? I'm assuming.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was any better or worse than the first one. Like you and I were talking about, the really biggest complaint that I had was a bit of the length. I probably would have been fine 10 years younger, or with the ability to pause it and take a break.
Yeah,
like you said.
That's just a theater issue.
I did. There was 3 times, but for the life of me, like I was telling you, Alan, I can't remember the first time. But there were about 3 times where I thought the movie was going to end, and I was ready for it to end.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is good. Oh, wait, no, it's still going. And then I can't really remember the first one. The second time I remember was the new Duke baddie is like bombing the crap out of the Freeman.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, all right, that's a good point to end it. We've introduced the new big bad. Our protagonist has lost his first big battle. Bam, bam, bam. Perfect spot to. Oh no, we're still going. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I'll keep watching. And then the next time, I thought it was going to come to an end was when the main character does something where it seemed like he was going to die, and then he came back to life, and I was like, excellent Messiah moment. Boom, we're done. Oh no, we're still going. Okay.
So I understand you that you came in, I guess, kind of more blind than I did. This film is the end of the first book, so basically I kind of knew it couldn't end with any cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to end with a full conclusion. So I wasn't. Those didn't catch me off guard. Also, I did watch a trailer which I know you said you didn't.
Yeah,
and basically the scene in the trailer with the 3 worms, it's like at the end of the movie. So since that didn't pop up yet, I wasn't even thinking about it. I mean, I didn't really think about when it ended anyways, because I was just pretty engaged that I was excited to see where it's going. Especially there's a certain point in the movie where the action starts happening pretty heavily, and it's just like nonstop. Everything is just like bam, bam, bam. Like the notes. It's just like bam. It's damn. Shit's going down.
I think I know what you're talking about. And at that point, I was back into it. But there was a lull kind of towards the end in the middle where like Imogen went to the restroom, where I was like, this would be a good time for me to pause it and regain my bearings, and then sit back down and enjoy this.
Yeah. But I agree with that. That would help a lot. Just giving a little bit of just a small break. It really helps. I've noticed that with longer movies that just having an ability to step away for a couple minutes really helps. Yeah, and in the overall scheme of things, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what's it called? Not parabolism. I enjoyed the subject matter and how it worked it in with the fantasy, with the idea of religious war and messiahs and stuff, and I thought that was all very interesting. I really loved that, to be honest. I love that Chani, their conflict with it. I know that it was interesting to see the dynamic between the two characters, and one basically it's especially hard. It was hard telling if their motivations were pure, because Paul, like at first you feel like he is utilizing these people to help themselves get free, but there's a certain point where, at least in my mind, it was hard to keep following that, like getting in his head, like how selfish is he truly being? Is this for him, or is he using them? Yeah, but then at the end, though, you see that flip back. Like at the end, it's all about his family again. And exactly. So does he care about the Freeman? Does it seem like he cares about the Freeman as much? It seems like he could be potentially using them. Yeah, well, like he found himself an army. Yeah. Well, yeah, like my thing was like watching the first half of it, I was like, oh, this kid is he's just his mother. He's just playing it with a different avenue. Yeah. But then as it kept going, I was like, oh, maybe he's actually different. But then it came towards the end, and I was like, no, he's the same son of a bitch. He's abusing the power he has. Yeah, he's just finding a different way to use it. Yeah. Yeah. Which I think Chani definitely kind of saw through that. She talked about it early on, how she saw through it. Yeah. And then once he starts going down that route, I mean, they have a great conversation when after they found the nukes. Yeah. That basically, like, he kind of flips his whole objective when he learns about them, and Chani is just like, oh, so you're going to use them. And he's basically, I'm going to use them. It's because he believes he has power again. Yeah. Before that, he had to rely on the Freemen for power. Yeah. Now he doesn't have to rely on them anymore. So if he doesn't have to rely on them anymore, he doesn't have to play this facade. Yes. And what I think was the best thing was, I could feel for Chani, and I felt for her through the movie, because I was like, I could see how she was just like, wait, you just freaking played me. Yep. Yeah. Especially when she goes and finds him too. Yeah. And the mother basically uses the voice to force her to do that. Oh, I was like, oh shit. That was when like Chani, like you could see her whole like outlook on life just crushed. Yeah. I was just like, stab her. Just stab her. Yeah, I really liked what's her name's character? Zendaya's. I really liked Zendaya's character. That's who their characters. I thought the actress did a really good job in portraying the feelings and emotions. I was there through the whole ride with her. Like, definitely. Yeah, she's a fantastic actress for sure. How'd you feel about Christopher Walken?
I mean, he's
Was
so
it
old
okay? So
now.
was it just me that was weird? Because I was like, I didn't
He's
realize
just
he was
so
in the
old
movie.
now.
Yeah, and I get he's at that age where that's where his place is now, I
Yeah.
suppose. But
Yeah.
it just felt so weird that it was Chris, because it was still Christopher Walken.
Yeah, well,
It's just like,
kinda
okay,
it's
I know
kinda
you're
like
the
whenever-
Emperor, but you're Christopher Walken.
Well, it's kind of like whenever I see, although I haven't seen him in one recently, but it's kind of like whenever I see Anthony Hopkins in a role again.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, man, you're so old.
Which he actually won last year? Or
Who?
2 years
I think
ago?
so. Yeah, Christopher
Anthony
Walken.
Hopkins. He won.
No,
Did
sorry,
he?
Anthony
Best
Hopkins.
actor.
Yeah,
Not
Did he?
Christopher Walken. Anthony Hopkins did. I
yeah.
think 2
Well-
years ago he won Best Actor.
Well, it's like when, I don't know if you guys were watching the Oscars, but
No.
like they had Al
Yeah,
Pacino.
not at all.
They had Al Pacino come out there, man.
Uh-huh.
I was like, holy junk.
Yeah,
Al Pacino, wow.
Wasn't he in
dude,
The
what
Irishman?
happened?
Wasn't that the guy in The Irishman?
yeah, he was in the Irish.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was, but they do a
that-
lot of CGI to make him
It
look.
was awful. I remember I watched
Yeah.
that movie and I was like,
But
because
I don't
couldn't
know.
stop laughing every time he
I
would
don't
get in a fight. I was like a 20-year-old guy that was fighting like a 90-year-old man. I was like, what is happening here?
I don't know though. After seeing him without the CGI, dude, I was like, well, he obviously needed the CGI.
Right?
It's bad though. I don't know. It was really
Yeah.
bad when he was like fighting with his fists and
No,
stuff.
I
was like,
agree
oh
with
my
you.
god,
I
this looks
agree
even
with you.
worse because at least if he looked like a whatever he was, 75, 90, 80-year-old man. I don't know how old Al Pacino is, but
Like 80.
at least if
gotta
he
be
looked
80,
that way,
yeah.
his movements and everything would be fine. But as soon as you put him in like a 20-year-old CGI body, it looks really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've been
Well,
saying.
Well, no,
since it
but
came out.
that's how I kind of felt with Christopher Walken. Seeing him, I was like,
Yeah, I think
isn't it
he's
time
just
to
too
pass the
too
torch?
noticeable. Like Dave Bautista, he's noticeable, but he's
Dave
not.
Bautista?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he hasn't been in that many things. Like he's been in a lot of things, but he's more of like an actor right now. So you're kind of used to seeing him in
Yeah.
things. Whereas Christopher Walken, I mean, he's been around for a long time. Respect to the guy; he's done a lot.
Oh yeah,
Like him in
respect.
a lot of things. Almost everything I've seen him in, I think I've enjoyed him portraying
Yeah.
it. But it did feel weird that he was there.
I have no disrespect for the guy, but to me, there comes a point, and it's with acting, it's with any career, where you need to pass the torch,
Yes.
and you need to understand that this is not my job anymore. And I don't know if it's hit that point for Walken, but like I was saying, like if I ever saw someone go, "Oh, Al Pacino's in a movie coming out this year," I'd be like, fuck it, I'm not watching that." Like I love Al Pacino, but man, he needs to stop. And if he's in a movie, no.
Right. It needs to be like it has to be about an old man. The movie,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Literally has to be about an old man who can't get out of the couch or
yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
Like,
I
But
didn't even know he was in
anyways,
it. I'm curious now.
so I didn't know either until he popped up on screen, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
yeah, it
okay.
did kind of catch me off guard. You know though, who is on screen now everywhere that I've seen? That Florence Pugh,
Yeah, Pew.
Pugh. She's on everything now. After Black Widow, I've seen her everywhere.
Yeah, she's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
And
true.
good for her. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
she's-
because I loved her in Black Widow. I thought she did.
yeah,
fantastic.
I thought she's done a good job in everything that I've seen. I don't know about her personally, but at least her acting wise, she
Yeah.
does a great job. But
yeah. I didn't
But-
know she was in it either. And Elvis was in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elvis
yeah.
Presley.
Oh, he's great, by the way. Apparently,
Yeah, he's a good
he-
actor.
so I don't know how true this is, but from what I've heard is that he's kind of a meta actor, and so when he played Elvis, he got stuck with that twang,
Right.
Elvis's voice, and he had a really hard time losing it. And so while filming this, multiple occasions they had to tell him to stop. They're like, "Hey, You need to stop, or we are replacing you.
And he said, "Thank you."
No, thank you for that. Thank you
So
very
now
much.
you can imagine his character, which is kind of a creepy character. He plays a really creepy character.
He plays a good creepy character.
Yeah. Which he played a fantastic job in the movie. But
Yeah,
now
he did.
imagine that with a Elvis voice.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm not knocking that. That sounds kind of fun.
But anyways, I loved it. I thought it was great. I actually can't wait to watch it again. Not in the theater. And I don't know what else to say about it right now besides go check it out if you haven't. I mean,
I thought it was good. I also enjoyed that there was a bit more world building to it. Like we got to finally leave Arrakis, although like Alan, you said we got to in the first one. I didn't remember.
Yeah.
That, so
Barely.
Barely. So this was the end of the first book. They are fighting for a trilogy right now to get another one, which would take place in the second book.
Yeah, hasn't been confirmed.
No, it has not been greenlit. Well, this movie cost $500 million. I think is what they said,
Jeez Louise.
which is like really big, like to the point where people are starting to ask, like, is this too much money to be spending on making a movie? Like, are we at the point where
I would agree.
I think we
not
may have hit
knocking the
that
film,
point.
but I just
Yeah.
I don't think any movies really.
Because we've seen very successful films without that massive budget.
I agree.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Argue that
Lord of the
till I
Rings.
die.
District
Yeah.
9.
That one was kind of stunk.
I agree.
I thought it was good.
I don't
I
like
actually
that movie.
really
It
liked
was it was fine, but it definitely
didn't
deserve a budget like that.
Yeah, it didn't like get over that hump of like, hey, this is one of the best films of the year in my opinion. Like Godzilla and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I'm not arguing that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, 500 million is too much. I think they're fun movies, but it doesn't even sound like, from what you guys have said on number 2, like that you're really, craving it. Like if you guys were both like, man, I can't wait for 3, then maybe we could.
Oh, I can't wait for 3. Does that help?
Alan
wait
might
for
be
3.
more. Alan might be more smart.
I want
than I am.
a third one really bad. I mean, that's
Okay.
like I
sound
understand.
like that.
It looks like they spent $500 million, and it looks fantastic. Should it be that much? No, but I think there may be some ways to not make it that expensive. But I don't know. I feel like this needs to be a trilogy. I don't know if it needs to go beyond that. I don't know anything about the books, but a trilogy.
What else
would be
needed
great.
to be a trilogy? The original Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman, and that didn't happen. So I'm gonna poo-poo on your trilogy.
You know what else needed? You know what else
needed it
to be?
I love those movies.
You know what else needed to be a trilogy? Star Wars. They should have just stopped after 3.
But they got the trilogy. You're
I
not
don't
even
know.
in this argument.
You're really gonna sit here and tell me we need to wrap it up in the sidelines here, and then you're gonna bring up that comment? All right, we're going for another hour. We gotta do this discussion.
You didn't even bring up a movie that only had 2 movies. That got a trilogy, and then it got 2 more.
Are we gonna bring up Dark Knight, the Dark Knight trilogy, which the third one was awful? Are we gonna talk about that? Because that was.
They got a trilogy. See,
I know, and it was terrible.
We're just going off the
It
rails.
should have been
We're just going off the rails here.
I'm out.
All right, we're gonna cut it off. So thanks for joining us, and we will be back in 2 weeks with hopefully something else that's fun and exciting. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out as we ride.
Probably
and
more
check
X-Men.
What's that? Oh yeah, we definitely got to keep doing more X-Men.
We'll do
I feel
more
like
X-Men.
every time we should be talking about the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, update at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least a little update.
100%. And with that, I will say see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. And the third Batman was great. Suck it, Alan.